So here we are, we're going to look at example number 2 on the next page, which says calculate the surface area of this square base pyramid below. I want to go back to the formula for a quick second here though. A right square base pyramid is a square base pyramid. You can see the base is in the shape of a square. So this side length would be the same as this entire side length, and this one and this one and this, so they'd all be the same. So it's square base pyramid, and it's called a right square base pyramid because if I were to draw a perpendicular line straight down from the apex or the top of that pyramid, it would hit the dead center of that square on the bottom, okay, forming a right angle with the ground or the base. Okay, so that's why it's called a right square pyramid. If we twisted that or slanted that a little bit, it wouldn't be a right pyramid anymore, and the calculations to figure out surface area would probably be, or would be, significantly more difficult. So if we look at the parts of the formula for the square-based pyramid, sometimes, and what you might have done in other classes, is you may have taken that square-based pyramid and chopped up all the sides and laid it down flat to get yourself what's called this is called a net. A two-dimensional representation of what a three-dimensional object would look like if we cut it up and laid it down flat. So you can see that we have one square here in the center, and 4 different triangles all being being the same. So if we look at the formula for the square base pyramid, well, here's the area of our base, just a square. Here's the area of one triangle, base times slant height divided by 2. But there are 4 of them, so when I multiply this by 4, I get 4 over 2bs, or just 2bs, which takes us to, if I combine it all together, 2bs plus b squared. So there's just a little background knowledge on our formula for the square base pyramid. Now sometimes you'll be asked for different types of questions. You have to make sure that you read the questions carefully. Area of the lateral face of a square base pyramid, or the lateral face of a cone or a cylinder, is basically this outside area up here. Lateral area, these triangular faces. This base would be on the bottom. It's not called a lateral side at all. Okay, if this pyramid were tipped on its side and laying on one of the triangular faces, well, then we could change that around a little bit. So just be aware that there's a little bit of different terminology when you're talking about these shapes, and that you may have to, well, manipulate your calculations a little bit in order to be calculating for what you're looking for. So example number 2 says calculate the surface area of this square-based pyramid below. So we already know that it's a square-based pyramid. We know that we have to include all the parts because it's not some fancy pyramid of Egypt that's sitting on the ground and we just want to know the surface area of the faces. Okay, in that case we wouldn't include the bottom. We just want the shape, it's the whole shape. So I first start with my formula. Now I always start with my formula. 2bs plus base squared. There's my formula. Okay. Next step, substitute. Substitute in my values that I have. Here I have a base of 8 and I have a slant height of 10. So I take this and I substitute in my base of 8 and my slant height of 10. Where's that? 8 squared. Substitute it in. Now I start doing some calculations. Well, 2 times 8 times 10 is 160. 8 squared is 64. Add this together, we get 224. And my units are centimeters squared. Again, surface area, remember, squared units. And I would be finished. Now on a quiz, this question may be worth 3 marks. 1, have you shown me the proper formula? 2, have you substituted the proper values in the proper places? And 3, have you given me a correct answer with units noted? Okay. On any quizzes or tests that I ever give you, it will always be show all your work, show all your intermediate steps, because I'm not necessarily, well, I am looking for a correct final answer, but I'm also looking to see what your process is to get there. And if you don't get the final answer correct, at least there's some work there that I can go back and possibly give you some part marks for, depending on where you may have went wrong. Okay. So there's example number 2. I'll come back with example number 3 because it's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more complicated because we don't have a slant height. We have to read some other information into this question.